All right, welcome back. I got a story here. I'm trying to condense it, okay? Working patrol, had a probationer with me. We get a radio call, burglary investigation. And it wasn't a hot call, so we pull up to a house. And these houses, the story will come in later. They're on a street, the house comes out from the street, and then they're on stilts. And it's a hilly area, and that's how they did them back in the 70s, I guess, or 60s when they built the homes. Comes in this story later. So we get to the house, we walk up, and it's all Spanish speaking. I have a Caucasian recruit, knock on the door. Lady comes to the door, Spanish speaking, and she says like this, come with me. So we go into the kitchen, there's a kid, 9, 10 years old, and he's crying at the table. And I thought, oh man, what did she do to him? And she's like this, in Spanish. Tell the officer, tell him what you did. He looks at me. I go, oh. He goes, we broke into houses, we stole stuff. I'm going, oh gosh, okay. So I'm thinking, what is this? So I go, well, as a young person, you can't give him his rights, he's too young. So we give him what they call a Gladys R, which is an admonition for younger kids. And all it is you ask them things like, you know, is it okay to lie? You know, should you be honest in school? Just to get an idea of maybe the kid, just to find out the child is articulate enough to tell you what goes on. Because sometimes you have kids that are really juvenile, really little. You might have a Down syndrome child that can't tell you stuff. You never know. So he's pretty sharp. So, okay, well, what happened? We broke into houses. I said, who's we? And he just dimed him off, man. He goes, it's this guy and that guy and that guy, all these names. So he gave me with 4 names. Okay. Well, I really don't have a crime yet, but I got something. Okay. So I told the mom, we're going to go ahead and take him to go with his friends. She goes, take him to jail. I said, no, you can't take him to jail. He's only 9 years old. I said, give me your information. My partner will get your information. We'll call you when we get done. She goes, I don't care. Take him out of here. He's crying the whole time. So we go to the car, put him in the back seat. We don't cuff him, of course. He's 9 years old. So we go to the next house. They're only a few blocks away from each other, maybe 2 or 3 blocks. We go to the next house. And I'm thinking, what do I got here? So I said, well, partner, watch the kid. I'll go to the door. You know, okay, come on. So I knock on the door. Latin lady opens the door. Real nice. How you doing, ma'am? She's looking at me like, she's a little gal look up at this huge officer. Do you have a list of names that the little kid dimed everybody off? I said, do you have Jose Martinez or whatever? It's a made up name. Yeah. Jose comes around the corner, sees me. He starts crying. I go, oh, I got something here. She looks at him like, what? So we walk over and she says, what happened? Tell me. He looks at me and he goes, we broke into houses. We stole stuff. I'm going, okay, this is interesting. How weird is that? All right, same drill. Okay, I'm thinking, what do I got here? So I go out to the car and I call for a supervisor and another unit. I said, something's happening here. So we're rolling to the other house. They come. I tell the supervisor, well, he says, the sergeant said, just go with this. See where it takes us. Okay. So now we go, just I won't make the story longer. This happens 4 times. The first call we got, and then 4 other times. The same response. Okay. The last guy, they've all agreed and told me that this is the ringleader. Okay, I'll make up a name. I don't know, Juan again. I don't know. We get to the house, same thing. Go in, he's crying. So now I got the leader. So now I have to do a little bit of detective work. I go, all right, where did you break into? Where? He goes, a bunch of houses. How many houses? Lots of them. I'm going, okay. I don't have a victim yet. I don't have evidence. I don't have much. So now I go, here's a $24,000 question. Where's the stuff? He looked at his mom. She looked at him because she's completely in awe of this. She's like, it's under our house. She goes, what? I look at her. She looks at me. One of those, soap opera things. Camera 1, camera 2. We're like, what? Under her. She goes, under this house. Yeah. Well, here's going back to the house on stilts. What people did was in those days is you got the house and you have the ground goes down and they have stilts. What they did was they built platforms at the bottom of the stilts where it goes into cement. They built platforms, then they cover the stilts with wood. They make like a little basement in there, and they store all their stuff in there, lawnmowers and just junk. That's another storage area, which comes in handy, I guess. I don't know. Well, that's what this house had. So I go, do you have a key map? She goes, yes. She's pissed. She wants to A, see what's going on, B, see if her son's telling the truth, because you're rambling on and crying. She wants to see so do I. And I got news for her. If she had to give me the key, I would have probably broken the lock anyway, because we have now we have the evidence. We have property, maybe. And with a felony being committed, you can do a lot of things whether or not the crime's committed, because it is possibly a felony. So I thought, well, this is low key. She gets the key, down we go. And I'm down there with 2 officers. I got more officers now. I got 4 officers watching the kids. I got supervisors. I got everybody's here. So we unlock the thing, open it up, and here, the length of a house, which would be probably a good, I don't know, 20, 30 yards, okay, under a house, the width of an entire house, underneath, is got nothing but property, stolen property. Jewelry, TVs, you name it, it's under there. Skateboards, clothes, I mean, it just looked like a store under there. And all on blankets, they put blankets down, everything, and he's crying the whole time, and the mom is just beside herself. She's like, oh my gosh. And I go, tell her in Spanish, Mom, now we're going to take your son because he's a burglar. She goes, take him to jail. I said, oh, okay, the same girl, I can't take him to jail. So now I go back up this hill, and our sergeants down this, and they're looking at this, and of course they take over now because I'm just a worker bee. So he said, okay, you take these kids back to the station, you process them, you guys stand by, we're going to call the burglary detectives, they're going to come out. They came out, like it must have been a dozen detectives came out with property trucks, and they have to take all this stuff. So they were there for hours. I'm back at the station doing the children's stuff, which takes hours. You figure each arrestee juvenile takes about an hour to process. Paperwork, we don't fingerprint them, we don't fingerprint that, you just take mostly just paperwork. Usually in those days, most children under 14, under 14 get one pop before it goes into the system. You get a freebie, they call it. It's just a counsel and release session with a detective, and that's it. Even this is a violent crime, that's different. Property crimes, whole different thing. This is a property crime, okay? So anyway, we're processing them, and you don't take pictures of them, you don't fingerprint them, you just put them in a cell, but the door's open because you're not supposed to lock them up. They're just kids, they're not going to go anywhere. Okay, so, but we locked them up because there's a lot of officers walking back and forth with guns out. You never know what kids can do, and we're just going to be, for their safety and everybody's safety. Okay, trying to wrap this story up because it's getting kind of long. So sure enough, we're done. As we're getting done, my partner starts calling the parents, okay? And they speak enough English to know that these are the police, and I'll come down to the station because I'm busy doing all kinds of stuff. So we wait, and sure enough, the desk calls, hey, you got 10 parents out here, and they're ready to go, and my lobby's full of people. Okay, no problem. So I go out and get the first parent, tell them what's going on. They know already, okay? And again, I did tell you this earlier. We had a technical malfunction a little while ago. These parents, okay, are first-generation legal immigrants from Mexico that came to America and settled here, okay? Their children are their first-generation Americans. And so I talk to these parents. They're proud of these children because they're their future. They're going to be proud of them. They're going to go to college. They're going to go to school. They're going to grow up in America. And here they're staring at their 9-year-old who's a burglar. They're not happy, okay? My dad would have, I probably would have ran away. My dad would have killed me if I got home with a burglar. My head would have exploded. His head would have exploded after he killed me, okay? But anyway, so first parent tell them, okay, so now remember, these dads are here now. They've been working all day, and they get a call from the wife as they come, or they get told when they get home that their kid's in jail, or they think it's jail, it's only the station. So they're pissed. So first kid, man, you walk up there, and same reaction. As soon as they see their dad, there's 5 of them sitting there. Gee, I wonder which one's his dad. So it must be the kid's dad. So come here. Okay, so the kid gets up, walks over. Dad gives him a slap at the back of the head. The kid's almost falls, knocks down. I go, oh, you can't do that here. Okay, where you discipline your children, how you discipline your children, you can't do it in a police station. You really can't do that. Okay, get in here, go with your mother. Okay. So they signed the name, and they had to come back in another day to talk to the detectives. And then pretty much it's over. But they don't know that. They think their son's going to go to jail, they're going to go to prison. And so every parent wanted to slap their kids. So everyone that came in, I had to tell them beforehand. Okay, I just saw what happened the first one. You can't hit your children. Here. If somebody told my dad not to hit me, he'd just nod his head. And as soon as I got an officer's view, he'd knock me upside the head. There's no doubt about that. I'm sure that's what happened with these kids. But I just gave my official admonition to the parents that they can't do it in the police station. So anyway, so all the kids are scared to death that they're going to go with their parents. They're crying. Well, maybe you learn a lesson here. Maybe you won't burglarize again. Go with your friends, and like what your parents say. If your friend chopped off a left with you, that kind of stuff. So anyway, so they're all gone. Okay, and of course the whole time I'm doing this, officers are coming in going, oh, you should be arrested by Fish and Game for getting this small fish, throw them back in the water. Boy, you guys are really CS for getting these kids. I wouldn't have wasted my time. All these guys, I'm giving everybody's giving me the finger. Get away from me, Yeah, wow, big case. Oh my gosh, what's next? The Kennedy assassin? All this stuff. I'm going, get away from me. So we process them, and we were done, and the detectives were still at the scene getting evidence, getting the property. That's how long it took. And then when they bring it in, they have to inventory every single item. Okay, so they've got a assembly line going. Stuff comes in, they document it, they write it down, they put tags on it, and then another group is just continuously. They got down there till we had this arrest around 2 in the afternoon. They didn't get out till past midnight. They were in there a long time. Okay, because every piece of property, it's labeled for the public. So when they come and want to get their stuff back, they can identify each one, and item number 87 belongs to you. That's how they do it. So okay, fine. So that ends that. Okay, so then next day roll call, we're getting ragged on, and of course I'm firing bags. Everybody's firing barbs about little kids and picking up juveniles and all that stuff. Okay, well then, a couple, 3 or 4 days go by, and then we go to roll call, and I see the captain sitting there. That's interesting, and another lieutenant. I don't know who he is, and the place is full of people. And then here comes the lieutenant from detectives comes in with a couple of his cronies, and we want to identify me and my partner. Come on up here. Wrote us a huge commendation. They solved almost 40 burglaries from these kids because they had to go back. They talked to the kids. And we gave them the address the kids gave us. As we drove back, forgot about this part. As we were back to the station, they're pointing houses they broke into, and I'm writing down the addresses. So I gave them a list of possible burglarized houses. So they went back and checked all these homes, and they something like 30 or 40 burglaries in the area. It's not hard to figure it out. Here's where the kids live, in a 3-block area, and here's all the burglaries all around them. Okay, it's just, come on. It's not rocket science here. It's just, so they're all proud about that. I got a standing ovation. I'm bending over like this, waving at people, giving the finger to some of the guys that were ragging on me. And I go, hey guys, you do something like this, maybe you'll get a commendation. Ooh, wow. They just smile. My supervisor's going, see guys, do what these guys are doing. I'm going, you don't have to, I already got my barman started. You don't have to give another one. But they wanted to tell the guys that don't work that hard that you never know what you got, man. You never know. When I walked up to that first door, I thought I was going to just leave there 5 minutes later. And 10 hours later, I left with all these things going on. So sorry, it was kind of long, but that's the end of this thing. So anyway, hope you enjoyed it, and the kids hope they learned something. Anyway, see you next time.